Hello guys, this is Josh from Scarebox. Today we're doing a bit of a weird podcast. We're doing a review of Plopsaland Japan. This one is so I went a few weeks ago with my partner to Belgium, and to Lille as well. You know what, I was looking around the theme parks around Lille, right, and I was like, ooh, and I ended up seeing Plopsa and I was like, oh my god, Ride to Happiness. So yeah, this is going to be like my trip to Plopsaland, Japan. I'll give you guys a bit of an overview. So we took about 2 to 3 different trains to get there. It is a 2-hour journey from Lille, Flanders. There's a lot of switching around, but it is pretty good priced. I think it was like £25 or £30 return for both of us. It was pretty good value. So if you don't have a car, don't worry about it. But the trains are a little bit weird though, so do plan your journey correctly. In terms of the park, I would say the entryway is pretty interesting. I'd say the park entrance is pretty ugly in my opinion, actually. It's kind of meh. Once you're in though, you have this kind of weird layout of basically, so most theme parks you have like a sort of main hub area. This park has that, but the right hand side is like blocked off because of a hotel, so you can't turn right, which is kind of strange. So you kind of have to turn left, or go straight on the kids area. So not really my thing, so it went to the left obviously. So yeah, this park's a bit weird with that layout thing. So you basically always turn left. Interesting. But I'd say this park has a really good top 3, and that's what keeps it sort of there. So you have my third favourite ride here is a ride called Heidi. So really fun little GCI, got a sort of great little fun out and back layout. It's got some good airtime, some snappy turns, really, really fun ride. I think I might prefer it over Wicker Man. It's a pretty great roller coaster. I think on about par Wicker Man actually, sort of a bite-sized GCI with some good forces. But yeah, really, really good little GCI. And then the second best coaster there is called Anubis. This one actually, man, this really exceeded the expectations. It's got a very crazy launch. I didn't think it'd be that powerful, but it was one of the best launches I've ever experienced. Gerstlauer are underrated, mate, with their launches. That does not get enough attention. The ride after that has a really, really intense sort of kind of top hat element, and then the ride sort of follows with a sequence of kind of these twisty elements, including a heartline roll at the end. Very forceful roller coaster, very quick paced and very intense. Really, really underrated roller coaster actually. Anubis is great. I think the launch is just such a jarring experience. No one told me about the launches on this thing. That launch is wild. And then the best roller coaster there is obviously Ride to Happiness. And it's just as good as everyone says it is. I was kind of, scared it wouldn't be as good as people say, but it is as good as people say. If I had to give my sort of ride overview, Ride to Happiness, it does everything that Mac does right, and then more. I personally love rides like Icon and Blue Fire, but I can admit they're not the most forceful roller coasters, as well as Icon. Or they have, some problems, the launches, or they're a bit floaty sometimes and not really intense. Ride to Happiness is just insane. The spinning, and it's chaotic. You don't know where the hell you are. Flips you around wild, and you never know what's going to happen because every ride seems different on it. It seems to have a lot of sort of variation. And you might get a tamer ride, and sometimes you come off and you have the most insane spinning. It's good. I think the ending, the kind of flying snake dive, I think is what they call it. That's a really amazing element as it kind of twists you up, then twists you down again. So the whip there is great. Ride to Happiness is probably my top 3, easily, just behind Steel Vengeance and. I do another video for this, or another podcast, sorry. I'll do a Voltron review, but I actually prefer Voltron over the both of them. I think Voltron is the best ride I've ever ridden. I just pissed off every single UK enthusiast for saying that. I just pissed off everyone. But yeah, in terms of Ride to Happiness, I think it is worth coming to this park just for that. but Anubis and Heidi are just kind of like some good little extra bonuses. I'd say the rest of the roller coasters just kind of meh. Like, the mostly family roller coasters that I skipped because the queues were really long. And that's one thing actually I'm going to criticise and talk about. Operations were kind of meh. Like Anubis and Heidi both, you know, they were trying with it, but the trains are teeny and the design is not throughput in mind. Ride to Happiness ran one train for most of the day, and that really pissed me off. So yeah, that queue was really long. It was maybe like 100 people in the queue. It took like an hour. It was ridiculous. You know, particularly after visiting a park like Eco Park, where there's 8 trains. I think it's 8 trains in Voltron. There's definitely a lot anyway. So the one train ops on Ride to Happiness really got me the wrong way. Food as well was awful. To be honest, I went to a couple of Belgian theme parks, and food is pretty awful, I think, across them. But Plopsaland definitely have a really bad food offering for their sort of size. I hope they address this in the future. Also, everything is really expensive. You know, like, I had this churro, I think it was like €7. It was worth it, but €7, really? And a Coke is like €4. It's like, really? I don't know, theme parks are a rip-off in general, but Plopsaland takes things to a new, like, Disney level of sort of grabbing your cash. But yeah, Plopsaland, I'd say there's a lot of sections I haven't really talked about, like right at the back of the park. I kind of skimmed past them because I didn't want to, I don't know, I just wanted to lap Anubis, Heidi and Ride to Happiness. It was in August, so it was really busy, but it was raining a lot, so it was a bit sort of miserable. I also rode the Mack powered coaster, and that was really, really good, but equally, it's quite funny. So it was dry, we got on the ride, and then as soon as we sort of like left the station, it started to like sort of downpour, and like a heavy downpour. So me and my boyfriend had no poncho, no jumper, so we were just like putting our hands in front of our body, like trying to cover ourselves from the rain. So I don't even know what happened on that ride. And it was quite a long ride as well, which is horrific when it's pissing down rain. Like, we were literally getting soaked and wanted it to be over. So I wouldn't say I have a good, like, you know, I don't really know much about that roller coaster because I was too busy trying to shield myself from the rain the whole time. But the theming looks really good for that ride, so does the log flume as well. I think the theming in this park is really, really good. I think it is well themed. I think as well it felt quite clean, like a lot of different flowers. It definitely felt very like sort of scenic. But yeah, my only sort of critiques here is that the operations and the food. But one thing that I think about Plopsaland as well, it's not that big. Like, I wouldn't call it anything on the likes of Phantasialand, or I guess Phantasialand not even that big anyway, but it's nowhere near as like Eco Park or Portaventura. So I think it still has a lot of growing to do. Big gaps, I would say, like more dark rides. Also, what's the word? Rapids. There's no rapid rides here, which is kind of ridiculous. So yeah, those things could do with some changes, I think. But yeah, that's my opinion on Plopsaland Japan. If you guys have any hot takes, any opinions, do comment below. Or if you were telling me I'm wrong, fair enough. But yeah, enjoy, guys. That's been Scarebox, which has been a theme park episode for some reason. But yeah, enjoy.